hear gunfire before I understand where it's coming from. The first round catches Davies in the throat. He doesn't scream, just makes a wet, choking sound and drops into the tall grass like a stone. I'm still turning when the second burst tears through Miller's chest. 3 holes, center mass. He looks down at himself, confused, as if someone's played a joke he doesn't understand yet. Then the forest explodes. Muzzle flashes erupt from positions we cleared 20 minutes ago. Germans, dozens of them. They're in the tree line, behind the stone wall, inside the barn we passed. We're in a kill box, and I didn't see it until we were already dead. Contact left, contact rear, Morrison's screaming, but his voice is drowned by the MG42 that opens up from the ridge. That sound, like canvas tearing, but faster, meaner, chews through the air where our heads were a second before. I hit the ground, roll behind a rotted log that won't stop anything larger than a pistol round. My brain is racing, trying to calculate fields of fire, trying to find the mistake. We were careful, we moved at night, we avoided roads, we trusted. The boy. I see him then, just for a second, running through the smoke toward the German lines. Small frame, dark hair, moving fast. The same boy who led us through the bocage country, who showed us the safe paths, who told us the village was clear. The boy who said he wanted to help. I don't think, I just aim. My finger finds the trigger. But Morrison tackles me sideways as another burst stitches the ground where I was lying. By the time I look again, the boy is gone. And I know, with the kind of certainty that comes from watching good men die, that he led us here. Fletcher's down, not moving, not breathing. His eyes are still open, staring at nothing. I want to scream, but there's no air for it. No time. The Germans are closing in, their voices sharp and efficient, tightening the noose. 3 hours earlier, we'd sat in a cellar that smelled like earth and old wine. Captain Fletcher spread the map across a crate, his finger tracing our route into occupied territory. 6 of us, deep reconnaissance. Identify German positions, call in coordinates, disappear before they knew we'd been there. Local resistance says there's a gap in their patrol pattern here, Fletcher said, tapping a forest road. Resistance says a lot of things, Davies muttered. He was 23 and looked 50, we all did by then. That's when the boy appeared, just materialized from the shadows like he'd been there all along. Couldn't have been older than 12. Skinny, with dark eyes that had seen too much. The French woman who ran the safe house, Madame Laurent, put her hand on his shoulder. My nephew, she said in careful English. He knows these woods better than the Germans. He can guide you. Fletcher and I exchanged looks. We'd been burned by local guides before. Trust was a currency we couldn't afford, not anymore. But the boy spoke, quiet, careful. The patrol changes shift at midnight. I know where they smoke, where they don't watch. I can show you. Why? I asked him directly. The boy looked at me, no hesitation. They killed my father. Simple, direct, the kind of truth that mattered in war. Fletcher studied him for a long moment, then nodded. He comes as far as the tree line, then he goes back. I didn't know it yet, but that choice would follow me for 40 years. We moved just after midnight. The boy led. I stayed close behind him, watching his shoulders, watching his hands, watching for the tell. Fletcher had taught me that everyone betrays themselves eventually. A glance, a hesitation. The body knows before the mind decides. But the boy never wavered. He moved through the darkness like water, finding paths I couldn't see. When German voices drifted through the trees, he'd stop, one hand raised, and we'd freeze. Twice he saved us from stumbling into sentries. Once he pointed out fresh boot prints, a patrol that had passed minutes before. He's good, Morrison whispered, impressed despite himself. Maybe too good, I thought, but paranoia had killed as many men as bullets in this war. The forest thickened as we descended. The boy led us down into a shallow valley, following a stream that cut between the hills. Dense cover, good concealment, the kind of terrain you'd choose if you wanted to move unseen. Or if you wanted to trap someone. Hold, I hissed, raising my fist. Fletcher turned, impatient. What? This is perfect ambush country. We are channeled, no high ground. It's perfect concealment country, he shot back. We're 2 clicks from the objective, keep moving. The boy looked back at me. His face was unreadable in the darkness. For a moment I thought I saw something there. Regret maybe, or resignation. Then he kept walking. At the time, I thought I was being paranoid. Later, I'd realize I wasn't paranoid enough. We reached the clearing just before dawn. An old farmstead, abandoned, collapsed barn, stone walls overgrown with ivy. The boy stopped at the edge of the trees, pointing to the ridge beyond. The German camp is beyond the next ridge, he said quietly. 1/2 kilometer, you can see it from the high ground there. Fletcher clapped him on the shoulder. Good lad, get yourself home now. The boy nodded, started to turn, then stopped, turned back. I'm sorry, he said. The words hung there, strange and out of place. For what? Fletcher asked, smiling. The boy opened his mouth, closed it. His eyes swept across all of us, like he was memorizing our faces. Then he ran, fast, faster than I'd seen him move all night, disappeared into the trees like smoke. That's when the first shot rang out. I'm screaming Fletcher's name, but Fletcher's not moving anymore. Half his face is gone. Miller's trying to crawl, leaving a red trail through the grass. Davies is already dead. Patterson, I can't see Patterson. Morrison's firing controlled bursts at shadows, but there are too many shadows and not enough bullets. The smell of cordite and copper fills my nose. Smoke, blood. I'm going to die in this field. The thought arrives with perfect clarity. I'm 26 years old and I'm going to die in France because I trusted a child. Fall back, Morrison's voice is hoarse, wet. Move. I fire blind into the trees. Roll, sprint. Something hot grazes my arm. Trees, I need the trees. Morrison goes down. Not dead, not yet. Wounded, his leg. He's screaming my name, reaching for me. The Germans are advancing. They'll be on him in seconds. Every instinct says run, but I run back anyway. Stupid. Suicide. But I run back because that's what you do, because we can't leave each other. I get an arm under Morrison. He's heavy, dead weight. His blood soaks through my uniform. We stumble into the trees as the world catches fire behind us. A grenade explodes where we were standing. I don't remember the next hour, just fragments. Running, falling, Morrison's weight dragging me down, dogs baying in the distance. When we finally stop, huddled in a drainage ditch, I count. 2 of us left, out of 6. Morrison doesn't make it through the night. I try, pack his wound with moss, give him water, tell him he's going to be fine, but help isn't coming. He dies just after midnight. His last words are about his daughter. Emma, she's 3. I bury him shallow, using my hands, cover him with leaves and say words I don't believe in, then I keep moving. 47 days it takes me to reach Allied lines. 47 days of hiding in ditches, stealing food, drinking from streams. I lose 20 pounds, develop dysentery. My arm gets infected and fever dreams haunt me. Always the boy running away, looking back once, his face blank, guilty. When I finally cross into Allied territory, I collapse. They debrief me in a hospital in England. I tell them everything. The mission, the boy, the ambush, how perfect it was. The intelligence officer nods and takes notes. The resistance cell has been compromised. Your report will help us reassess protocols. He killed them, I say. That child led my men to slaughter. I understand how you feel, the captain says, but this isn't your fault. But he's wrong, it is my fault. I trusted when I should have doubted. I ignored my instincts, and 4 good men died because of it. I carry their names, Fletcher, Davies, Miller, Patterson, Morrison. I carry them for 40 years. The war ends, I go home to Leeds. My mother cries. My father shakes my hand, proud, awkward. I get a job, marry a kind woman named Anne who doesn't ask too many questions. We have 2 sons. I love them, teach them to ride bicycles, help with homework. But there's a part of me they can never reach. A part that died in France and never came home. On Friday nights, veterans gather at the pub. We trade sanitized stories, drink too much. We know what we don't say. I never tell them about the boy. Some burdens are too specific. The guilt becomes furniture. You arrange your life around it. Years pass. Anne dies. The boys grow up, move away. I retire. Suddenly there's too much time and not enough distraction. I think about the boy more often. Wonder if he's still alive. Wonder if he sleeps well at night or if the ghosts visit him too. Probably not. Traitors rarely have consciences. 40 years pass. I'm 71 when my daughter Sarah suggests I return to France. A memorial service. Some organization honoring sites where British soldiers died. It might bring closure, Dad, she says gently. I don't tell her that closure is a myth, but I go anyway because she's trying to help, and I love her. The village has changed, paved roads, cars, a small supermarket, but the church is the same. The cemetery where we hid that first night, the forest still rising beyond the village, dark and deep. The memorial service is simple. The mayor speaks, someone translates, they unveil a plaque, names carved in marble, Fletcher, Davies, Miller, Patterson, Morrison, and 6 others from different operations, all dead in this valley. I stand there reading the names and feeling nothing. After the ceremony, I stand alone by the memorial, running my fingers over Morrison's name. "You were there." The voice comes from behind me, French accent, male, old. I turn. He's my age, maybe older, grey hair going white, weathered face, the kind of man you'd pass without noticing, just another pensioner. But his eyes. I know those eyes. Recognition hits like a punch. 40 years collapse like paper. Suddenly I'm 26 again and watching a small figure run through the smoke. "You," I say. He nods slowly, me. My hands curl into fists. I'm old, but I could still. "I need to tell you something," he says. His English is good, practiced. I've waited a long time. "I know what you did." "No," he says quietly, "you don't." Something in his voice stops me, not pleading, not defensive, just certain. We sit on a bench by the memorial. He stares at the names on the wall, his lips moving slightly as he reads them. Then he begins. "My mother, her name was Marie Dubois. She was the reason Madame Laurent let me stay. I wasn't really her nephew, I was just orphaned hiding. My father was dead, that part was true, shot for stealing food." He pauses, swallows hard. "2 days before I met you, the Germans came to the farm where my mother was hiding. Someone told them she'd helped a British pilot, given him food, nothing more than that, just basic human decency." His hands are shaking, slight tremor. "They took her not to a camp, they kept her in the village, in the basement of the old school. Leverage, they knew resistance was helping Allied soldiers, they wanted to catch one." My stomach goes cold. "The day before you arrived, an officer came to me, Hauptmann Weiss, Karl Weiss. He took me to the school, made me look through the basement window. She was down there, chained to a pipe, bruised, terrified." The old man's voice cracks. "Then he gave me a choice, not really a choice. He said British commandos were coming. He said I would lead them into the valley, exactly where he told me. And if I did this, if I delivered you to the trap, he would let my mother live, not go free, just live." Silence hangs between us. "And if I refused, he would make her death last days. He described it, in detail, what he would do, what tools he would use. He made me describe her, what she looked like, what her voice sounded like, so I'd know it was real." My throat is tight. I tried to refuse, I told him no. I was 12, but I understood what he was asking. He pulls back his sleeve, his left forearm, the bone there is crooked, misaligned. He broke my arm, snapped it over his knee like kindling, then he asked again, calmer, more patient. His hands tremble badly now. "I was 12 years old, my arm was broken. My mother was in a basement being starved and beaten, and this man was offering me a deal, and I took it." He's crying now, silent tears. "I thought maybe I could warn you somehow. A word, a gesture, but Weiss was watching. His men were positioned the entire route. If I'd warned you if you'd run, my mother would have died for nothing, and Weiss made it clear her death would be my fault." I close my eyes, see Fletcher's face, Davies, Miller, Patterson, Morrison. See a 12-year-old boy with a broken arm and an impossible choice. "When I led you into that clearing, I knew what was going to happen. I saw your faces, the captain who was kind to me, you who questioned, who worried, who knew something was wrong." He wipes his eyes. "I tried to say sorry, do you remember? At the end, I said I was sorry, it was all I could do. And then I ran because Weiss had told me to run, because my running would confirm the trap." He turns to face me fully. "I heard the shooting, I heard your men dying, and when it was over, Weiss came to me, patted my head, said I'd done well, said my mother would be spared." A pause heavy as iron. He lied. The words fall like stones. 3 days later they shot her, behind the school, early morning, no trial, just a bullet, because they didn't need her anymore. He's fully crying now. "So I delivered 6 men to their deaths for nothing, for a lie. I murdered you, all of you, and she died anyway. I can't breathe, can't think." "I've lived with it," he says, "every single day. Your captain's face when the bullet hit, the young one trying to crawl, the way you looked at me when I ran, like you knew, like you hated me. I've lived with all of it." He stands, old knees, old bones. "I didn't come for forgiveness. I don't deserve forgiveness. I came because you deserve to know. Because I've carried this alone for 40 years and I thought maybe if you knew the truth, it might mean something." He starts to walk away. Wait, I call out. He stops, turns. I stand, walk to him. We're face to face. Two old men who have carried the same weight in different ways. What happened to Weiss? I ask. Dead, killed in Berlin, 1945. Russian artillery. I searched for him after the war, for years, but he was already gone. I nod slowly. What was her name, your mother? Marie, he says, Marie Dubois. She was 34. She liked to sing. She was teaching me to read. She wanted me to go to university someday. In the middle of all that death, she was planning for my future. I'll remember it, I say, her name. Something passes between us then, not forgiveness, just recognition, understanding, two people who survived the same nightmare and came out broken in different ways. I don't hate you, I say finally, and I'm surprised to find it's true. I hated you for 40 years, but now I just feel tired. He nods, me too. What's your name? I ask. I never knew your name. Mitchell Dubois. I took her name after the war, to remember. We shake hands, his grip is weak, mine probably is too. He walks away, I watch him go, he doesn't look back. I stay by the memorial as the sun sets, the other mourners have left. Sarah is waiting in the car, giving me space. I think about Fletcher, who died believing he'd made a tactical error, Davies, who never saw it coming, Miller, who crawled 3 meters before his strength gave out, Patterson, who I never found, Morrison, who died in my arms asking about his daughter. I think about a boy named Mitchell with a broken arm and an impossible choice. I think about a woman named Marie, who died for showing basic human decency. I think about Hauptmann Karl Weiss, who built the trap and pulled the strings and died never facing justice. War doesn't make heroes or villains, it makes accomplices, it makes survivors, it makes ghosts out of the living. Before I leave France, I add a name to the memorial, not officially, just in my head where it counts, where I'll carry it. Marie Dubois, mother, hostage, victim. 40 years I spent hatting a boy who had no choice. 40 years wasted on grief aimed at the wrong target. I can't get those years back, can't undo the anger, can't resurrect the dead. But I can remember. I can carry one more name alongside the others, not as an enemy, not as a friend, just as another casualty of a war that killed more than bodies. It's the least I owe her. It's the least I owe all of them. Sarah drives us back to the hotel. She asks if I'm okay. I tell her I am, and it's almost true. For the first time in 40 years, the weight feels different, still there, still heavy, but distributed differently, shared somehow with a stranger who's not really a stranger anymore. That night I dream, but it's not the usual nightmare, not the clearing, not the blood, not the boy running. Instead, I dream of a small farmhouse, a woman singing while she hangs laundry, a boy learning to read by candlelight, a moment of peace in a war that allowed no peace. And when I wake, I remember their names. All of them. The dead, the living, the guilty, the coerced. I remember them all. And somehow, impossibly, that feels like enough.